Hello. Well, we got our first snow. We're going around these people. Yeah, it's safe. We got our first snow of the year. I thought I would talk about this encounter I had. Visit with somebody, not a spirit, other spirit, but a person. Really kind of, for me, a little bit eye-opening. I call it the Sunday school teacher because this is a woman that I was visited with recently. A woman about my age, close to my age. I'm getting up there, as you know. You're getting up there. We're all getting up there. Well, you know, she was really telling me that she was a Sunday school teacher at the Methodist Church. And I think she was way off foundation, if she ever was on the right foundation. I'm a little bit sick right now, honestly. I've got something going on. Gotta see a doctor tomorrow. I'm kind of run down. So if I sound it, it's because I am. So we got to talking, of course, about religion and, well, Christianity, namely. And she told me that she didn't believe in hell or the devil, but yet she was a Sunday school teacher at the Methodist Church. I'm like, demons are real, and she laughed at me. She laughed at me. I said, they exist, and she laughed some more. She said, sorry, I don't believe in that stuff. I said, but you said you were a Sunday school teacher. So you believe the Bible? She says, well, yes. I said, well, what about, why did Jesus go to the cross? And she had to think about that. And she said, to save us. I said, save us from what? She said, from sin. And I said, what are the consequences of sin? I mean, if he's saving us from it, there's a reason. And then she said, hell. And she was upset at me that I backed her into a corner on this. And I don't think I made a believer out of her, that the devil and hell and demons are real. And I told her about some of my demonic attacks, and she laughed and laughed and laughed at me. And this woman went on to say, proudly proclaim that she has been told by somebody that she is what's called a seer. That's S-E-E-R, seer. Someone who sees spirits. I think it's an old Scottish term. Because I had someone in Scotland tell me that I was a seer. I had to look it up. Online, they told me that. I didn't meet them in person. I said, really? I said, have you ever seen a ghost? She said, no. Then how are you a seer? She said what was it? Silliness, really. She can sense their presence. Sometimes she sees shadow figures out of her peripheral. I said, well, I'll tell you what. In this town, I've seen a lot of spirits.
1 mile. Turn left on Hicks Road.
In 1 mile, turn right on left on Hick Road. And I told her some of my ghost stories, and she laughed at me. She said nobody would believe that. And I said, well, you say you're a seer, but you don't believe it? This woman says she's a Christian, taught Sunday school at the Methodist Church, but doesn't believe in hell or the devil or demons. And even though it wasn't hard to, pin her down on it, if she says she believes the Bible, I don't think that changed her. I don't think she cares enough to to even think about it, quite frankly. But yet she teaches Sunday school, or taught Sunday school recently. I'm not sure which. I think it was the latter. Well, the Methodist Church, which I was...
Turn left on Hicks Road.
This thing's taking me down to Go Pass, which is all right. It's a little adventure. I've got to drive to Geneva, New York to get my Audi car worked on because none of the local mechanics will work on this European diesel car. Just headlights, but you got
half a mile. Turn right on Wyckoff Road.
You got to take the front of this car off just to change the headlights on it, or I would have done it myself for sure. Oh, good Lord. The Methodist Church. I was baptized Methodist when I was about 12, and I took it very serious. But since then, that church is, in my opinion...
1,000 feet. Turn right. Then turn left.
That church has lost its way. Allowing different things. Kind of like the Episcopalian Church.
Turn right on Wyckoff Road. Then turn left on Hunter Road.
They started allowing female ministers.
Turn left on Hunter Road.
Hold on a second. Started allowing female ministers, and I think openly gay ministers, leaders of the church who were openly, unrepentantly gay.
In 1.4 miles. Turn right on New York 34.
Yeah. Sorry about this thing. I know my way around here, but it takes me down some go paths that are kind of unfamiliar to me. Well, they've lost their way, the Methodist Church. It's a feel-good family gathering, liberal, decidedly liberal. And by liberal, mean liberally, anything goes. So long as you feel good and you leave with a smile on your face, that's the whole point with it. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. This person it didn't upset me. It was just kind of, wow, how shallow can a person be? To profess to be a Sunday school teacher of children and deny that there's a devil or hell or consequences. And I remember I also said to her, well, if there's no devil and no hell, then Jesus didn't need to go to the cross. And I did say that to her. And she looked really upset because she was not going to win this argument, obviously, and she knew it. I said, that's what led up to. Why do you think Jesus went to the cross? If there's no devil or there's no hell, the devil with the demonic fallen angels, then Jesus didn't need to go to the cross, and there's no need for God to come to earth, in the form of the Son of Man.
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
And then that's when, she just looked upset at that point. And that's when I said to her, why do you think he went to the cross? And, yep, I don't think I don't know.
Turn right on New York 34.
I don't know. And then that got me, her calling herself a seer. She's a seer. Like she's got special spiritual gifts. She's been told that she's a seer.
Continue straight for 6 minutes to Skillet Road.
Oh, good Lord. She's a seer, but she's never seen a ghost. She just senses them. Well, who doesn't? I told her a couple of my ghost stories right from the village of ones that I'd seen with my daughter with me and Jen and other people to witness it. And she just laughed and laughed and laughed at me. What an arrogant person. I tried to tell her about a demonic attack I had. To tell her I know these things are real. I went on a prayer camp crusade for somebody. And she just laughed all the more harder at me. The Sunday school teacher. This is why I don't really subscribe to a lot of Protestant churches. It reminds me of the time I went to the Baptist minister. This is some years ago, like 15 years ago, because the house I was in, the hauntings were really starting to bother me. Deeply upset me, nerve-wracking. I was like on the verge of a breakdown. It was that bad. And the Baptist minister laughed. He laughed also. He chuckled. And after I told him I'm having problems in my house, I need some help, the guy just chuckled. My church leader, the Baptist church, just chuckled. And he said, well, I can't help you because I don't believe in that stuff. And what a disappointment. And these people just ignored certain parts of the Bible. They ignored certain parts of the scripture. They pick to uphold what they believe. At any rate, I guess you get that anywhere you go, really. I thought it was kind of, I don't know, what would I call it? It didn't bother me. I mean, she can believe whatever she wants, you know. But I thought it was shallow, exceedingly shallow, and on their part, both of their parts. That minister, that, you know, he's supposed to be my spiritual leader, and that's the best he's got. Just to laugh and tell me he can't help me because he doesn't believe in these things. Well, I guess he ignored the parts in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples dealt with people with demonic entities. And I pointed out before that there are actually referrals to ghosts in the Bible. Not many, because that's not what the book is about. But they're in there. I mean, in the Old Testament and the New, a few. Like when the disciples thought Jesus was a ghost when he walked to them on the water. And he said to them, do not be afraid, it's me. You know, I'm not a ghost. He didn't tell them there's no such thing as ghost. And when Thomas thought he was a ghost, when he appeared to them after the crucifixion, and just the door was locked and he let himself in, and they thought he was a ghost, they were afraid. And who wouldn't be? That would be the reaction of you and me today. Somebody that just died that we knew that just shows up. It's a natural reaction. He didn't admonish them and tell them there are no ghosts. Haven't I taught you there's no such thing as ghosts? No, he didn't say that. Just like the first time, he said, don't be afraid, it's me. Give me something to eat. Ghosts don't need food. So I guess these people just, I don't know. I thought I'd just bring this up. And this was somebody I was talking to in person. This wasn't on the internet. Oh Lord, I am ill. I don't know I got like something going on. Supposed to see somebody tomorrow morning. Skillet Road, I think that's up here. Well, we got our first snow, which is really seasonal for here. I gotta get this car fixed. I mean, it's headlights, but I love this car, but
in 1,000 feet, turn left on Skillet Road.
Skillet Road. Makes me want to fry something up on Skillet Road.
Turn left on Skillet Road.
time ago on this road, a long time ago, there was an old house sitting into the woods here, up a ways from here, not right here.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right on Bluefield Road.
Actually, it was in this area. I'm not sure. I don't think it was this road, but right around here. And there's an old abandoned house sitting way back off the road. And I went in the barn, and there was an old horse and buggy still sitting in the carriage house.
In half a mile, turn right.
And it looked like it'd been there for, it wasn't anything Amish. The old horse and buggy looked like it'd been sitting there for, I don't know, 100 years maybe. And there were cork bottles too. Really, there was an outhouse, a latrine, outhouse, not a latrine, but there was cork bottles and stuff, and that's kind of what I was looking for. It was kind of a cool find. Other than that, I didn't bother anything. Where do I turn?
Turn right on Bluefield Road.
Right here, okay. Oh God, I hope I get better. I've got to start
In
a new...
3.3 miles, turn left on West Genesee Street.
I've got to start a new job a week from today. Factory job, 12-hour shifts. It's very important to me. Very important that I work this. I've got to get, I don't know what's going on with me, but I've got to get better. I mean, it's uncomfortable just to walk. It's, let alone work. All right, I guess go along for the drive, I guess. I don't know. I don't think some people take their spirituality or at least as seriously as I do, and probably you, I'm sure. Apparently this woman didn't. I mean, Sunday school teacher at that. That's all that church is to some people. Just a get together and feel good about yourself. They're not looking to grow spiritually. And I think that's part of the reason we're here, isn't it? Just get together as a community and every Sunday and you feel good about yourself. You did your good deed. But how do you believe in the Bible and in Jesus Christ but not believe in hell and the devil? To each their own. And I don't know where she got off laughing at me. I mean, really laughing at me. Raucous, almost laughter. When I was trying to tell her I've encountered these things. And, she laughed and said, oh my God. She says, nobody would believe you. Nobody would believe you, she said. But this is coming from a woman who professed to believe in Jesus Christ. Well, she was a Christian, and she didn't believe in hell or the devil. And again, it wasn't hard to pin her down. And I've already told you how I did. It wasn't hard to do. But aren't there like a lot of so-called Christians that operate this way? They don't believe in hell or the devil or judgment. I think it's just almost like New Age. I don't know. I mean, we're not called to focus on, we're supposed to think upon that which is good and true. But you have to have a healthy knowledge that hell and the devil does exist, but we have authority over that, and Jesus Christ took care of all that for us. on the cross.
In half a mile, turn left.
That's not our battle to fight. We're not qualified to fight that. Christ fought it for us. But all right.